Good morning. It's Friday, and I have the Farm Bureau here. I have Derrick.
And Karl.
And Karl. Yes.
Karl.
Frickin' Frack. We could call you Frickin' Frack. That would work, right? That would be appropriate.
We've been called other things.
We've been called way worse, so.
Good morning, sirs.
Good morning, Lisa.
We're going to talk about Farm Bureau this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been an exciting year. Lots of stuff's happened. But first and foremost, our annual meeting's next month at the Pacific House.
No, it's this month, isn't
This
it?
month.
Oh, yeah.
We're in November now.
Okay.
It's
Just,
November.
okay. It's the first. Sorry.
No, it's the third.
It's the third.
We're 3 days in.
Okay.
Catch up.
Well, I didn't sleep for a few
Hey,
days.
P.S. We're turning the clocks back on Sunday. Do you
I know.
that?
I know. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so
I'm,
get with the
I'm
program
getting
there,
rested
pal.
up. Sorry about that.
okay.
Okay, so our annual meeting is this month, November 20th, at the Pacific House, which should be a good experience. They've just opened recently, and
Always have good food.
yeah.
Delicious food.
I think
And
we're
delicious
upstairs.
cocktails.
I think we're upstairs. Anyway,
Are you upstairs?
I didn't know there was an upstairs.
There is, but I don't know that it's open yet for use. They closed it. They'll close down the restaurant for.
Okay, so
private
that's what they're
parties.
doing probably. Carol Marie set that up.
Are you sure that you should be here today? You don't seem to know
Oh, I'm
much.
fine. I'm fine. 6 p.m. is when the doors open, and there's a no-host wine and beer is available, and dinner is going to be. Well, the meeting will start close to 7 o'clock. 6:30 is when they normally, but just depends on how many people and how good a time we're having. And so we got some good speakers lined up, and.
So what happens at the annual meeting besides food and drinks?
Well, drinks
And
aren't
socializing.
that's not why we.
Well,
I
I'm
should
just
I
saying,
should add
get
cheese.
together and
Usually there's a
socializing.
big cheese platter there too somewhere. It's we kind of sum up what happened this over the last 12 months. That 1517 Senate Bill 1517 that Chad Allen and Mary Ann Nash pushed through, helped get through, which is. That's a pretty big deal for Tillamook County and a lot of other rural counties along the coast. Mm-hmm. And what else has happened, Derrick? I mean,
It's always hard, right? When you sit and
you
like,
sit down. I try to write
wait,
a list.
What? You're supposed to keep a list throughout the year.
We just talk about what's coming up, what's happened. I worked too much this year. So I'm a bit forgetful, but
They'll go over the year, like you said, and they'll give us a legislative update on and let us know how horribly bad they're going to try and get us in the next one. So
taxes or inheritance taxes, stuff.
Sounds like a scintillating evening.
Well,
it is.
But when you have the food of Pacific Restaurant
yeah.
to help offset it.
So
let's talk about being a Farm Bureau member.
So-
because you do not need to technically own a farm, right?
You don't have to. To be a farmer, I believe you have to show. Well, there's associate
Different
memberships.
memberships,
There's
right.
associate membership, which you can get if you just go choose to buy country insurance from Kathleen Witten. And then there's the voting membership, which is 105 if you are a farmer or you sell some food at farmers market. I believe you have to make $1,500 a year to qualify as a farmer for the tax deductions. But the $105 pays. I mean, there's so many benefits. I don't know that we can even go over all of them. There's Granger, International Tractors, Caterpillar, but there's supervised fuels, AmeriGas, AgriPlan. There's Country Financial that helps give you discounts. There's
a couple hotel chains.
right here.
Yeah,
I'm
and I think
getting,
isn't
I'm
there
getting
car
to it.
rental
So it's
too?
like the Ramada, Days Inn, Super 8, Wingate, Baymont. There's two different Choice Hotels International. You get 20% discount if you're a member there. So I mean, out of for $105, a 20% discount if you stay a couple nights.
Yeah.
It's not going to take much to get your money back.
Yeah, for sure. And then you're supporting the Farm Bureau.
Well, and so people, it's like, farmers, I feel like now we're just kind of in everybody's way because when we're moving around, Derrick's on the road to feed his cows. I'm on the road to go to work with a tractor, I say. People don't have patience anymore, but they don't realize that they're eating stuff that was, we don't actually produce the food. I don't, but it's a chain reaction. You start, and then it's a trickle down effect to get the cheese or to get meat or whatever. So, but to be a member, you just ask. You come to one of our meetings. It's always the third Monday of the month. We have them at the Shiloh Inn. The doors open at 6, and the meeting's usually going by 6:30, 6:45. We have dinner, and there's almost always a good time.
Will you have one in December?
December is a Christmas
I was
one,
going to say,
and there's so much going on.
Before Christmas.
We're going to actually do it on the 11th this year.
And that's actually a really fun meeting because we do a white elephant
gift exchange. So you always want to be kind of towards. We all put numbers in a hat and draw numbers.
So do you not do the very first person doesn't get? Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Okay. The first person gets to draw,
and it can be stolen 3 times. I believe.
It was pretty funny
and
last
there's always a couple good gifts.
If you're going to come to a meeting and want to get introduced to some people, that might be the best one of the year to come to. It's a lot of fun.
I think people need to understand that Farm Bureau, it's our representatives for farmers in all aspects of government. They're there keeping an eye on things, and because we don't have time to be paying attention to several thousand pieces of legislation.
And I don't even understand half of the rules and regulations that come out. So
if it was just a few years ago, and I think it came up again, essentially, for lack of better words, a cow fart tax. They wanted to charge. They wanted to literally charge emissions for every animal that you owned, that you had on your farm. I believe it was $50 at first, and then I'd heard $20. Well, could you imagine if Derrick had to pay an emissions tax on $50 on each one of his animals?
That's $5,000 per cow.
On an annual,
for every 100 cows.
For every 100 cows.
On an annual basis.
On an annual basis. Okay, so I mean, and people complain about farmers and pesticides, but if you actually, the rates that are used by farmers, we're stewards of the lands. I mean, we're spraying stuff that's just a couple ounces, and people overuse in their yards. So I mean, it's we're trying to preserve our way of life, I guess, and Farm Bureau helps us do that.
They do a very good job of it too.
We have a great support team in Salem, and most of them are going to come to the annual meeting. So, meetings. Everybody, hey, come to a Farm Bureau meeting. Well, it's 7:00 at night, and we're tired. I understand. I mean, I'm tired at 7:00 at night too. But it's
important.
If you don't get out and try to make a change, nobody's going to do it for you.
Going back to the cow emissions, so the Farm Bureau got involved and kind of knocked that one down.
Yeah, they stopped it pretty quick. But see, it was just like, some setbacks. I saw something come across on an email the other day on some setbacks for spraying. EPA want.
Oh, I saw that too, and now I can't remember what it was.
They need input from people that are actually doing it, because the people behind the desk, the paper pushers, I'll call them, they don't really understand how that 150-foot setback affects someone in Tillamook, where there's literally only 200 feet between the ditches.
Right.
So all of a sudden you have a whole field that you can't protect from bugs or, just protect, because you have a 150-foot setback.
Right.
So it's important that people take a minute and comment.
And that's what Farm Bureau does. They'll send out an email saying, hey, you guys might want to
this might affect you.
Whereas if they weren't doing that, we wouldn't even know that there was a comment period.
Right, until it came down to.
Right. There was a big, there was a fuel, what was the fuel, Shell Sheldon, Yanks, Roaches.
Oh, the was it a fuel tax, or was it just the...
Well, they were going to tax us on fuel, and they were going to make us all burn a fuel that they don't even make yet. But it was kind of a bogus deal, and if it went through, then it would have cost us all thousands of dollars. Just in my operation alone, I believe it would have been about $200,000 increase in the amount of fuel that I burn. Well, so essentially, that sounds great. but you got to pass that on. I can't swallow a 200.
Right.
So,
And
so
then-
then it passes on to the dairy farmer, and then someone else. It's
Well, and then
It's a
they
ripple
were
effect,
going
for
to
sure.
mandate that all trucks that were older than like 1995 or something had to be replaced.
Well, I mean, my whole fleet of silage trucks is older than that.
Right.
And, I only use them for a month out of the year, most of them, some of them a little more than that. So, you have to also do what's economically feasible for
Sure.
a situation.
And the Farm Bureau helps do that.
Yeah.
But there was also people at that fuel hearing that were just one guy took a day off. He was a flagger in Portland, and he said, "Hey, if this goes through," he says, "I'm already working 2 jobs." He says, "If this goes through, I literally am going to have to sleep on the couch at my buddy's house because I won't be able to pay rent if I have to pay the fuel increase." And this would affect everybody that's listening. People just don't understand. So, it's good to stop and listen once in a
Yeah.
while. And
Well, I like that Farm Bureau, like I said, is kind of your eyes and ears in the Capitol to hear all these things that are coming out. And there's a Farm Bureau person that works there, right, at the Capitol?
Several.
Yeah, okay. So, and to let you know, because, that's a full-time job. I mean, that really is. And you already have a full-time job. So that wouldn't work out real well. Speaking of Farm Bureau members, I have to take a break. And we're going to talk about Rosenbergs. Aren't they a Farm Bureau member?
they are.
They are.
Yes, see? And they're not a farmer. So they must be an associate member or something?
Associate member, I believe, yes.
Where do you go to find almost anything you need for home improvement? I'll tell you where. Rosenbergs. Rosenbergs has been your local connection for anything you need to build and finish your house to perfection. Carpet, cabinets, paint, electrical, plumbing, nuts and bolts, fencing, windows, doors, and so much more. All those items in one place, but that's only part of the story. What really makes Rosenbergs your stop for home improvement is their people. Their knowledgeable, friendly staff is there to help you through any project. Any question from what paint you should use to how to install a new shower valve, you can get the help you need to do it right the first time. Stop by Rosenbergs today to rediscover what you've known all along. It's better to shop local and work with great people that you can see every day. Build it, plumb it, wire it, paint it. Rosenberg Builder Supply, Tillamook. So we're talking with Derrick and Karl from the Farm Bureau this morning. And we were talking about Farm Bureau and what it does and the member benefits and annual meeting coming up
Yes.
on the 20th.
November 20th.
20th.
At 6 p.m. at the Pacific
At Pacific Restaurant
Yep.
at 2nd and Main.
Yeah, I hope it's not a rainy night. I guess people will park across the street. I haven't really paid,
There's plenty of parking. It's just
Yeah.
a block away.
I go to the Dutch Mill often, but you come in through the back.
There's that big parking lot at First and Ivy, right across from Kimmel's.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You just
So
walk
yeah,
and
you
walk.
have to walk
No,
one
you just
block
have to
and one block,
have
but
to
it's
just
not a big deal.
be a little creative right now. But boy, it's sure going to be nice when they get done in town. I like the changes.
It's crazy what's happening in front of the Pioneer Museum. Just making that
Oh, yeah.
big, huge walkway. Landscape, but it's amazing to see how big that's going to be.
Well,
Yeah. Have you seen the design plans for what it's going to look like
yes.
after?
Yes.
It's going to be really nice. I'm excited.
yeah, they're doing some nice stuff. So and that'll draw people to town, and that's
Do you
good.
guys drive your tractors through town? I was behind something. I don't know what it was, but it took up the entire. They blocked off the road, but
It was probably one of Karl's tractors.
it was huge. I took a picture of it, so
I
show
was
you
moving
afterwards.
something down the road the other day that was 20 feet wide.
Did you go over the bridge?
Yeah, normally we haul it.
Was it on a weekend? Because it was.
We move around a lot.
I'll take
Something
it. I'll
that wide, we don't move very often. We try
Yeah.
to do it early in the morning, but I actually hit someone's mailbox and had to go back and leave a note because a gal in a little car would not. She was going to take me out. It was like, so I guess probably
Let's
the
talk
people
about road safety.
probably the people that are listening, most of them
For the most part,
for the most part have some common sense, but there's some people out there that see us and they like freeze. And we're just trying to get to the next spot, whether we're going to Derrick's or Luthold's or somewhere. And there's a lot of mixer wagon trucks that go down the road that are a little bit slow, but they're going somewhere to feed some cows, and they don't want to be in your way, and they don't want you to be in their way. And so it's kind of about sharing, and people don't like to share very much anymore.
And the thing is it's temporary. I mean, it's not like
we're going to be there a couple minutes.
Yeah, it's not like you're driving and, you're going to be stuck behind a tractor for your entire day.
I think the statistic is if you're stuck behind a slow-moving vehicle like a tractor for 2 minutes or for 2 miles, it's like you stopped at a stoplight.
Yeah.
Yeah, because more often than not, that person that passed us in a double yellow with someone coming is the next person in line when I get to the stoplight in town.
Sure.
And it's like I'm thinking to myself, really, do you realize that you just
put
put us in danger? And I mean, we're not moving, we're trying to be courteous, but it's such now that the wide spots aren't big enough to pull over. So we try to move over when we can, but if we move over halfway, like when I was a kid, the tractors were smaller and we drove half on the gravel and half on the pavement and let people go by us. We do that now. But
technically, you don't have to do that, right?
We don't have to. Actually, it creates, when we have our safety meetings, it creates more of a hazard to do that because we're bigger now.
Right.
And so they have to go in the other lane, and it's just safer to just take your lane out of the lane. But I guess I'm just asking that people would maybe be courteous for a minute and think, if you ate cheese or eggs or meat or
had milk this
even
morning.
cereal.
If you ate.
Yeah.
If you ate, basically, a farmer helped produce it, maybe show them a little respect.
Actually, if you ate or are wearing clothing.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and you drive on Highway 6, right?
I do.
So you get a lot of the fun valley people that come out that don't really understand.
I have people pass me on the right. I have people pass me on the left.
Have you ever been rear-ended?
My dad got rear-ended. He picked up the wagon he was pulling, put it in the ditch, turned his tractor all the way sideways.
Wow.
Yeah, I got rear-ended one time when I was younger, right there by what I call the airplane on the stick, Long Prairie Road. A lady hit me, and
were you stopped?
I was driving down the road with flashing lights and a slow-moving vehicle.
And she just ran up behind you and hit you?
And I pulled over. I was 13 and I didn't really know what to do, and that's before cell phones. So I pulled over and she got out and started screaming at me, and someone came up and said, "Karl, you're okay," and everything was okay. So I left because I was in the way. In the way, and they knew who I was, and she hit me. So
Dad was all the way over to the right too.
So
that's crazy.
I mean, I'm just. We shouldn't talk about it, I guess, but I'm pleasantly surprised, and I credit this to the good people that are driving these tractors, because it's hard to believe really that there haven't been many accidents, and we really stress slow moving vehicle signs and lights. And the other day I drug something down the road that the lights just wouldn't work on, but we've fixed them now. So if one of your lights is not working, you are really worried. Yeah, because it makes it look like you're turning instead of flashing.
Sure.
And then people think you're turning, and then it creates a whole other safety issue.
So I mean, in general, just be patient, people. Because you're right. I mean, I think I've seen studies where, if two people leave at the same time and they're driving 10 miles different speed-wise, it's like a 2-minute difference or something like that. Or like you said, just like being stuck at a stoplight.
Yeah.
The same thing.
And honestly, if you're using country roads, just plan for it to take a little longer.
Right.
Yeah. Well, everyone's in a hurry, and we understand that. I mean, I'm in a hurry when I'm going somewhere, and they're in a hurry. So everybody needs to respect each other just a little bit.
And stay off your cell phones.
Yes. Which is a huge fine now.
Yes. I wear a funny-looking little earbud thing now. I'm kind of getting used to it. It's actually pretty handy. But.
Nice.
So
wait, hold on. I got to take another break.
Okay.
And then we can start talking about whatever you wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Tillamook Regional Medical Center's annual seminar, Diabetes and You, is Tuesday, November 7th. That's this coming Tuesday. Find out how pain and diabetes are interconnected, learn how to keep your heart healthy, and key strategies for healthy eating. Learn about minding diabetes and using your untapped powers. There'll be product and information tables and healthcare professionals to answer your questions. All this and a free lunch on Tuesday, November 7th from 9:30 to 3 at Seventh-day Adventist Church. To register, call 815-2443. Tillamook Regional Medical Center, committed to the health and wellness of our community. So we're talking with Derrick and Karl this morning from the Farm Bureau. We have 6 minutes. Can you do it?
I was just going to say, if you're living in Tillamook and you want to get involved, come to one of our meetings or get a hold of myself or Todd Luthold. Our numbers.
Are you the president?
I am the president. Voting membership is $105, and I was just looking here. There's Avis discounts if you go anywhere on vacation. That's 25% discount if you're a Farm Bureau member. You just have to have the code. Budget's also the same. There's a Clearview
Hearing
benefit. I mean, these don't fit everybody, but you can easily get your $105 back, and Farm Bureau watches our back at the Capitol. So I would just ask that, I mean, everybody wants something. I was on the phone when I was out here with FFA. There's an annual, what is it? If you were
like the recap.
Yeah, they're having
dinner?
a dinner at the fairgrounds Saturday night at 6:00, and I'm supposed to be there, but my daughter's playing her last volleyball game at Pacific, and I'm not going to miss that. So I'm going to miss.
Is that the text message that you just got?
Yeah, the girls, the state girls.
Won.
That's why Kurt Mazzei wasn't here today.
Yeah, the varsity team went to state, right?
Yes, they did. Looks like
this has been an interesting conversation today.
They've lost. They lost the first game, but they won the next two.
Oh, nice.
So maybe there's still one game in play right now, or I'm sure by now it's over. So my wife failed to send me the right message. But
darn it.
Anyway.
Did you want to talk about JLC real quick?
JLC, they had a record year this year. That's junior livestock auction at the fair. And I support them every year, have for years. It's just a great opportunity to help a kid that maybe isn't a farmer make a little money so that they can start a college fund or do something that keeps them from playing video games, and they get to raise a hog or a steer or a sheep or a goat, chicken.
And they just learn about animal care.
Yeah. And so it's really a good
input
thing.
Costs and
So I guess I would just
many
urge
kids
that
these
people
days don't know where their food comes from.
Right.
So to be able to have
Exactly.
that opportunity is kind of cool.
well, and it's such a community effort because I ran into Patrick, our CEO for Tillamook, and at the fair, and I go, "Well, what are you doing?" He goes, "Well, I'm going to go buy a pig."
Yeah, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
I bought half a
couple.
pig once. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great having fresh, I know where it came from. It was amazing.
People like that, yeah.
And are you involved with the JLCA?
I just
No.
support them.
Okay. Because don't they have a farm or something out by the
there
shooting
on-
range?
Yeah. As far as I know, it's on Fraser Road, and there's a barn there. I believe you
If you don't have
if you don't have a proper facility,
Right.
I believe they will help set you up if you ask for help. And who do you talk to?
Is it Todd? What's his last name? He's a trooper.
Oh, I'm drawing a blank.
I know. I am too. Hootenpyle.
Hootenpyle. And then what about
People are
that
yelling at
farmer
the radio.
farmer
Hootenpyle.
that sold his farm down there in Cloverdale? I'm drawing a blank on his name too.
I do not
Next
know.
to prices.
Yes.
I don't know. But yeah,
Anyway.
get in touch with someone and I think OSU Extension Office could probably put people in
Hayden
touch.
Bush could set
Yeah.
you on the right road there. He's a great help in that area.
So if you're thinking about it for next year, because now is probably the time you need to start
Right.
thinking about it.
That's right.
Yeah.
You got to plan in advance because you got to buy a little animal in the spring from someone that has them at the right age. So it's
Coming up.
It's a process.
It is already November 3rd, which is insane and crazy. to me.
Unless you're Karl and it's
and
still
then it's
October.
still October somewhere. Or November 1st.
Hey,
either way.
I knew it was after the first because my wife had to pay everybody the other day, so I just forgot.
You're in denial. It's okay.
Yeah.
We're out of time. Was there anything else you wanted to mention? You want to plug your meeting one more time?
Yeah.
Actually, plug both December, because December sounds like fun.
So annual meeting is at the Pacific Restaurant on November 20th. Starts about 6:00, and it'll be very informative. Our Christmas meeting will be December 11th at 6:15 at the Shiloh Inn behind the restaurant there.
Bring a white elephant.
Bring a
gift.
white elephant gift and expect to have a good time.
Cool. Derrick, are there any final thoughts you would like to give? No. Okay.
Be courteous.
Yes. Yeah.
On
Be
the
patient
road.
on the road for sure. Even with
Thank you,
just
Derrick.
regular cars. On Monday, we will have House Representative David Gomberg on the phone. Don't forget senior meals 11:30 at St. Mary's by the Sea in Rockaway Beach every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Also noon every weekday at the Kayawanda Community Center in Pacific City, as well as the Tillamook Senior Center at 4th and Stillwell. Cost is $3 for seniors and $6.75 for everyone else. The Tillamook County Veterans Stand Down is today from 10 to 2 at the fairgrounds. Meet with employers, pick up food, clothes, showers, and haircuts. Tapa's newest comedy opens this weekend. Money Matters has shows tonight and tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Tickets for this hilarious show are available at Diamond Art Jewelers, 842-7940. I believe tonight's show is already sold out, but you can get tickets for tomorrow or you can get tickets for the next 2 weekends. The Tillamook Senior Center is having a flea market tomorrow from 9 to 3. Thanksgiving and Christmas decor, homemade jams, baked goods, jewelry, and lots of other things. The Senior Center is at the corner of 4th and Stillwell. On Sunday, there's a free concert at 3 p.m. at the Tillamook Adventist Church Fellowship Hall. Enjoy the music ensemble of pan flute, violin, cello, and piano playing old favorites, including Moon River, Pink Panther, and many more. There will be refreshments included. That is Sunday at 3 at the Adventist Church. And if you haven't heard about the Chamber's Downtown Sweepstakes, purchase from any downtown business located between Stillwell and Laurel and 1st and 5th. Bring the receipt to the Chamber during their open business hours, enter their weekly sweepstakes, and then they also have a year-end sweepstakes for $1,000. And then, like I mentioned earlier, the clocks turn back on Sunday. Dun, dun, dun. You guys don't find any benefit to that anymore, right?
No, it's
obnoxious.
More
horrible.
annoying than
Can we just
And
stop
I'd
it?
point out that the new chamber building is downtown because I
Yes.
know Brett Hurleman has been telling people it's still down at Tillamook, down by the cheese
That
factory,
stinker.
because he doesn't want anybody else to be able
Yeah,
to enter.
he's a
so
stinker.
I've heard that rumor.
Brett Hurleman. Come
Brett.
on.
Hey, gentlemen, thanks for coming in this morning.
You're
Have a good day.
welcome.
Yeah. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Tillamook, for listening.